Hello everyone, my name is Alyssa and today I will be presenting on Case 6 for my Business 343 class at Liberty Online University. So let's dive in. Our overview for today. I will be assuming the role of HR director, and as an HR director, it's my job to maintain compensation systems, record employee information, process payroll, among many other things. The objectives of today's presentation will be to discuss the case on hand, take a position, defend that position, create a plan of action, and the conclusion will follow. So let's go to the next slide. The case description. John Arnett was a truck driver at Saga Food Services. He was observing Labor Day on Tuesday because his work week didn't fall on a Monday. John is a little bit different. He doesn't work the normal 9 to 5. He works 4/10s, which means that his work schedule in this situation was Tuesday through Friday, which meant that if a holiday like Labor Day fell on a Monday, he would take it the following day. John called at 11 p.m. on Tuesday after he had observed the holiday and let them know that he was taking a personal day the next day on Wednesday. The company did not pay John for his holiday pay because he did not fulfill the set forth bargaining agreements. So let's take a look into these sides in the next slide. So position 1 is the company, and this is from the textbook. It says that the employee shall have worked the full scheduled workday immediately before and immediately after the holiday, except proven sickness or injury. It even goes on to say that the shift manager may offer to waive this rule in advance of the holiday, and acceptance thereof by employees is on a seniority basis. And then the other perspective, which is on our next slide, is position 2, the union. So the union filed a grievance requesting that Arnett be paid his holiday pay because he did fulfill the set forth collective bargaining agreement, which we can see in the slide before. Based on the bargaining agreement, he did not, because he did not work the day after he observed the holiday. Let's move to the next slide. So as the HR director, my position, I would side with the company in this case. Our scholarly source below, it says that there has been a gradual shift since the 1970s because unions have become a lot more common, which is great. It gives employees a voice, which is amazing, but when the company has clear expectations, and it's the employee's job to know those expectations and fulfill those, and that is included in the bargaining agreement. So let's move to the next slide and go over the exact question that we are answering today. So assume the role of the Director of Human Resources for Saga Food Services. How would you present your case that John Arnett is not entitled to his holiday pay for Labor Day? So I would go over the bargaining agreement and what it states. So the employee must work the day before and the day after the holiday. The supervisor must approve the request off in advance, and the reason for taking off with short notice must be proven by sickness or injury. All of these were not filled by John Arnett, so I do not think he's entitled to holiday pay. Let's move to the next slide. We'll get some more support and just have a little bit more background. So after doing some research on the National Labor Relations Board website, I did find unions are great. They give employees a voice, and it's their job to let them know, to set the bargaining agreement and the rules, and the employees must follow those rules or they don't really get the benefits of the agreement. And in the next piece of information, we'll see that agreements formally acknowledge the importance of the worker's voice. And in this case, the voice was siding with the company. So if it's for good or for bad, the agreement is there to help people comply. Let's move on to our next slide for our plan of action. So first, I'd like to highlight the 2 pieces of scholarly information. So one is about managers and the connection between rights, and if managers are going to have rights for their employees, the employees must also respect the terms and conditions and kind of the rights of the company in that situation. And then the one below that is about authority. So authority is justified because it helps members of a collective endeavor do better at complying. Complying is pretty much the whole reason this case is kind of a bigger deal. So my plan of action would be to reiterate the terms of agreement on the contract, give an explanation why the company will not be paying John Arnett because he did not comply, and make sure that all employees understand the implications of the bargaining agreement that the union and the company has set forth moving forward. This information should be accessible to the employees, but if it's not, there's other things to deal with. But just making sure that information is accessible is really big in compliance, and making sure that employees understand what they're signing up for. So let's move to the next slide. That will be our conclusion. So John Arnett will not be getting paid for the holiday because he did not fulfill the duties set forth by the bargaining agreement. The terms in the bargaining agreement state that the employee must be there the day before or the day after the holiday. And research provides many outlooks on this case, such as how unions are very helpful, and how they create a voice, and how authority from the company also must be respected. In this case, if you'll go to the next slide, you'll see my references. So thank you so much.